Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed.
Still the world zoomed on. As the 90s dawned, things were going from fast to instant. But the 90s began on a somber note for Edward. On July 1st, 1991, Ellen's ashes were laid to rest in a little Anglican churchyard on St. Joseph's Island. All the immediate family were present, and this gave Edward an idea. "As long as we're all here," he said, "why not go back to the cottage and have a celebration and reunion, an affirmation of life? Your mother would have wanted that." And so on that July 1st began the St. Joe's Island family reunion that goes on to this day.
She's the keeper of her family tree, plays the piano and she loves her tea. Margaret holds a light for us all to see. She talks to the minister and talks to kids. She talks to people till they scratch their heads. She talks quite a lot, but that's okay. My Aunt Margaret's got a lot to say.
Edward was able to help fill the empty space within him by keeping busy. He had dabbled in theater from time to time over the years, and now he threw himself into it with a vengeance, displaying a talent for acting that served to upstage both of his sons in the process. A lightness of step returned to Edward's walk. He seemed animated and happy for the first time in so long. What, his family wondered, could be the source of this newfound happiness? The family came to know soon enough when Edward introduced them to Shirley Ricard, a beautiful, vivacious, strong-minded and gentle woman with a twinkle in her eye. They had been introduced to each other by Doug and Ruby Pogue, neighbors on St. Joe's Island, and, as it turned out, Ed and Shirley owned cottages just down the road from one another. Shirley had lost her husband a few years earlier, and the time and circumstances proved just right for them to get together now. Edward's family found her a bit of a mystery at first. They wondered about her ancestry, of course. Could she be Irish? At first they took her for a Swede because of her beautiful blonde hair. But regardless of her origins, they took a liking to her immediately and went on to become her extended family. In no time, international relations were resumed again as Edward and Shirley made their first trip to Florida. The July 1st reunions of the 90s proved the best ever and attracted family members from all over the province. Things were up and humming again. Edward didn't always keep up with the latest technology anymore. He still had his big screen TV and he still kept up with his CD collection, but he didn't have much use for the computers people were suddenly finding indispensable. He didn't really want or need a cell phone. The internet has been invented, but he isn't inclined to surf. They seem like time wasters to him compared with maintaining peak performance on stage and improving mental agility, doing a New York Times crossword puzzle every single day, no time off, cooking gourmet meals, well, frugal gourmet meals, doing maintenance work on 2 houses and 2 cottages, clearing unruly tree limbs, baking the most exotic Kahlua-laced homemade brand muffins, rescuing boats in the North Channel, and setting spring and fall records for swimming, always the first in and the last out, just before the ice arrives.